Well, a controversial ad for Doritos is getting a lot of attention online after taking heat for allegedly mocking the Catholic Church. Take a look for yourselves.
Pastor, we're losing our flock. We must find a way to get them back to church.
I know, I know. Please give me a sign. Got it.
So is it all in good fun, or did they actually cross the line here? Leslie Marshall is a syndicated radio host of the LeslieMarshallShow.com and Fox News contributor. And Lars Larson is a syndicated radio host of LarsLarson.com. All right, panel, so what happened was Frito-Lay, I guess, took submissions from outside groups to try to come up with the best Super Bowl ad. And this one made it pretty high up. It didn't quite make the cut in the wake of all the controversy, which some say is much ado about nothing. Lars, what say you?
Well, thank goodness it didn't make the cut. It does cross the line. And to quote Jesus Christ, "Do not make my Father's house a house of merchandise." The fact is, he threw the money changers out of the temple, and I just don't think that Doritos goes with Jesus Christ.
But is there, Leslie, an argument that this was, the premise of the ad is the priest, the pastor, can't get enough people into the congregation, so he's trying to think of ways to lure them in. And his idea is, and apparently the guy who plays the priest and who thought of the ad is a devout Catholic. So he hands out Doritos instead of the communion, the Holy Communion, and he hands out Pepsi instead of the blood of Christ, the wine, when you go up for communion.
Right.
And that's the premise, try to lure them in. Is it really mocking Catholicism, Leslie?
No, and I want to say to somebody baptized and confirmed, although not a practicing Catholic, Lars, if you and other Catholics are upset by this ad, how come you're not outraged about bingo? That is in the Father's house, or at least the basement. This is humor, and although I'm not his spokesperson, I believe God has a sense of humor. He deals and puts up with all of us on a daily basis. So I have to say, I thought it was creative, I thought it was funny, and you know what? Nowadays, I don't think there's anything out there that doesn't offend anyone, and that's a shame.
But the argument is, and we've had Bill Donahue on this program many times, who's president of the Catholic League here in New York, and what he argues in response to situations like this, Lars, is that you can do it to Catholics, you can do it to Christians, but you can't do it to Muslims. If you did an ad like this mocking the Muslim faith, mocking Islam, there would be an outcry that would be deafening.
Can you imagine if they, and in fact that was the next point I was going to make, the fact is that you would not do this to Muslims, and Christians are the last group that you can go after.
Why?
And I guess I'd take issue with less. I would take, why? Because we're the majority group in this country, and for some reason somebody's sense of proportionality says that since we're the majority, since we're the largest group in this country, and I'm a Christian as well, that the fact is you can beat up on Christians and make fun of Christians, but we should respect every other religion and not mock them. I think it is mocking to say that the blood of Jesus Christ is Diet Pepsi. I have a friend, Rebecca, who drinks Diet Pepsi all day long, and the fact is that she doesn't believe that Diet Pepsi is Jesus' blood. And to mock the communion service by saying we're going to turn the body of Jesus Christ, the flesh of Jesus Christ, into Doritos, I think it's offensive, and I don't think it should be done. God obviously has a sense of humor. He gave us the Democrat Party, but let's keep the sense of humor where it belongs.
You knew that was coming, Leslie.
Megan, I wasn't going to go. I wasn't going to do it.
Right, but this guy behind us. So I mentioned that the guy who submitted the ad, who plays the priest, maybe we could show that so the viewers could see him. He came out and said, and he's trying to get out of this on a technicality, Leslie, because he says, the pastor in the ad did not actually consecrate the Doritos and the Pepsi. Therefore, it is not, nor is it purporting to be, the Eucharist. And so if you are assuming that communion is being served, that is just that, an assumption that is not well-founded. Does any of that matter?
No, come on. That's a nuance that only a lawyer would appreciate, and apologies to you, Megan.
Speaking of senses of humor that the good Lord must have, I don't know, Leslie, is there any validity to the thought? It's almost like you can make fun of your own, right? This guy is a Catholic, so he makes this ad mocking Catholics if that's what he's doing. And Lars says because Christians are the majority, and so that's why they continue to get mocked without consequence. Maybe that's why, because it's the Christians who are coming up with the mocking.
Well, I don't want to get into a religious discussion, Lars, but there are many Protestants that would say they don't believe in the little wafer as being the body of Jesus. And Protestants, not Catholics, are the majority of the religious population in the United States.
Well, do they believe Doritos could be a good substitute?
So, well, can I tell you, Megan, again, I know I'm going to get tons of hate mail, but purgatory, look it up, was invented to get more people back into the Catholic Church because there were people that felt they weren't good enough for heaven and they were fearful of hell, and the baskets weren't being filled with money, gold, food, whatever, and the Catholic Church said, we've got to do something. Hello, purgatory. Maybe Doritos isn't such a bad marketing idea coming down the road.
No, but this isn't about making religion more approachable for those who believe. It's about selling a product, Doritos. And I find it offensive to think of somebody suggesting that the body of Jesus Christ is in fact Cool Ranch Doritos. It's ridiculous and it's offensive and it's sacrilegious.
Well, it's not going to go any further from the sound of it.
Okay.
It sounds like it didn't make the cut in the wake of the controversy. And apropos of really nothing, just a little fun fact for you. I used to date the guy whose grandfather invented the communion wafer maker machine. How about that? And also apparently invented Stonehenge wheat thins or wheat crackers. Anyway, there you go. Like I say, it has nothing to do with anything. Lars, Leslie, thank you.
Thanks, Megan. Happy New Year.
Well, you think the mortgage market